How's it going, battle brothers and sisters? Today I'm bringing you my personal tactical class build in Space Marine 2, fully prestiged out. And I'm calling it, at least in my opinion, my S class build, okay? My S tier setup. Now, before anyone grabs their bolter and charges the comments section, I totally get it, okay? Everyone plays a little bit differently. We all have our own flavor and carnage, okay? I totally get that. So please, I'm going to post before I get to the actual breakdown, I'm going to post a little bit of my gameplay and just kind of go into a little bit of commentary on how I play. Okay, it's very run and gun. You can skip that section, but a brief synopsis of that. It's very run and gun. Okay, I like to get in, I like to get out. That's why my primary range weapon is the melter rifle. But we will get further into every aspect of my tactical in a second. Okay, so again, this is just my loadout that I've been absolutely loving. Okay, it fits my play style. It shreds in the right moments, and honestly, it's just fun. It's just stupid fun. I love it. And again, gaming at the end of the day is about having fun, right? Again, this is my play style. Okay, so I'm not saying it's the only way to run tactical, but for me, it has been the only way. For me, I love it. Okay, I love all the perks. I love all the prestige perks. Now, the prestige perks for tactical are not the best. I mean, they're kind of lackluster. But again, these are what I chose, and I'll get to that in a second. These are what I chose, and hopefully you can take anything from this and maybe build your tactical class with a little bit of flair from this and a little bit of flair from your own, and then you can see the positives of this. All right, guys. So with that being said, I'm going to show you a brief kind of video on how I play. Again, it's very run and gun. I'm not going to go into further detail, but fighting some Tyranids, very in, very out. I like to be mobile, so I like to keep health high. I like to keep regeneration high, and I also like to keep damage high as well. So we'll go into that in a second, okay, guys? All right, guys. So this is the way I play. Now you have to realize that go into the build and perk breakdown, knowing that the way I play is very hit and run, okay? Now, I used to use more bolt weapons where I'm kind of standing behind, especially with the tactical, and just pelting enemies while my teammates kind of do a little more melee damage. And that works, and that's great. But again, everybody's different. So the way I like to play, especially with my Vanguard build, but again, the tactical is my secondary build, so if I had a preference, I would be playing on Vanguard. But for tactical, I still love tactical. I think tactical is one of the best classes, along with Vanguard, in my opinion. But again, this is the way I play. It's very hit and run. So for me, the melter rifle, for me, is the only way, okay? So again, you can see here, guys, and again, go into the build breakdown and the perk breakdown and all that, but go into it knowing that the way I play is very hit and run. It's popping shots off. It's constantly moving, and yeah, so just go into the build knowing that, again, everybody plays differently, so you got to go into this knowing that this is the way I play personally. It's very hit and run. Again, if you're using a different class, it's a whole different story, but I think for the tactical, at least in my opinion, guys, it's very advantageous to do a little more hit and runs. It's also great to kind of pop that Auspex and just help bolt weapons from afar. That works too, and I've done that before, and it works. But for me personally, and again, at the end of the day, guys, gaming is supposed to be fun. For me, I find this a little more fun. I like to get nitty gritty. I like to get in the battles rather than staying far behind. So yeah, so go into this build, guys, knowing that this is kind of my play style, okay? So with that being said, guys, let's hop back to the battle barge and go into my perks. Okay, guys, so let's get started, right? I'm going to start off with the perks, okay? And again, you can fast forward this. If you don't want to hear everything, feel free to fast forward. Totally get it. And again, go into this, guys, knowing that everyone plays differently, and this is my perk tree, okay? And again, I'm always interested in hearing below if there's something else that you guys would recommend. I'm always interested in hearing your recommendations, and I appreciate them, because I am not a wall of a head, and I do appreciate everyone's opinion. Okay, let's get started, guys. So my first one, I'm not going to go too much into detail on every single one because you guys know them. But anyways, my first one for core is balanced distribution. So your primary weapon deals 10% more damage, but your secondary weapon deals 10% less. Now, I use the primary weapon, which is the melter rifle, which I'll get into in a second. But that's my primary. I rarely switch to the my secondary weapon. I do at times, but I wanted to take that extra damage. Now, I don't use a plasma. I do use it as my secondary, but again, I use the secondary very infrequently. So this one, at least for me, wasn't advantageous. And then for me, guys, I don't use a bolt weapon, so the default was balanced distribution. Okay, my second core perk is the heightened vigor. So after a perfectly timed parry, block, or dodge, you deal 10% more melee and gun strike damage. Do not lose control upon taking heavy hits. That's crucial. And it cannot be knocked back for 10 seconds. That's also really, really important. Okay. So, again, for me, that was a big deal. I would always find myself perfect dodging or perfect parry or perfect block or perfect dodge. And I would go for that gun strike and then I would just get knocked back. So, this one really helps. My third core is down below here, Emperor's Vengeance. So killing a Majoris level or higher enemy, which happens a lot. Majoris are very frequent in higher level difficulties, even lower level. Restores your primary ammo by 1 magazine. Okay, so when you're playing those high level difficulties, lethal, especially absolute, those ammo crates are very, very rare. So this is a very good perk to have because I find that without it, I'm basically ammoless. So this is a very good perk to have, at least in my opinion, guys. My first team or my only team perk here is aligned aim. Again, going with the theme, guys. I love increased damage and I want a little more increased health. Okay, so right there, guys, we got range damage increases by 15% for all squad members. Guys, if there's a perk that's going to increase damage, I'm going to take that day and night. Okay. My first year perk, guys, this is where, everyone's a little bit different, but for me, this is how I play, okay? Priority targeting. The mark from Auspex scan lasts 8 seconds longer, but Auspex scan ignores Minoris. Now, guys, Minoris are a bunch of wimps. You can take out Minoris with a pencil. So for me, I really want to get that longer Auspex scan on those, Majoris and Extremis, Terminus. So I took this day and night, okay? The second gear perk is down below. We got precise calibration. Again, with the increase in damage, enemies marked by an Auspex scan take an additional 75% damage, but Auspex scan's radius is reduced by 25%. Guys, in my opinion, that's completely fine. 25% is not that much. And for me, if you're hitting those Auspex scan and you're taking the time, because I used to make the mistake by just popping the Auspex scan, just getting nervous and popping it off. But you got to remember, as you play more, you'll kind of get to know that certain enemies jump at certain times, and you can really time it out. So one example would be in Decapitation, when you're going into that Hive Tyrant battle, as soon as that animation ends, don't pop the Auspex scan right away. Because always, 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 that son of a gun is going to jump towards you guys, and then you waste that Auspex scan, okay? So wait for this is just one example. Wait for the Hive Tyrant to jump towards you, and then he's going to stay there for a bit, attack a smidge, and then that's when you pop it off, guys, okay? That's when you pop the Auspex scan off. So again, I'm just going into detail. Don't worry about that 25% reduced radius, because that 75% damage increase, and if you're popping the Auspex scan off at the right time, it's gonna be great, guys. You're gonna love it. I sound like a salesman. The first gear or the third gear perk, again, enemies marked by Auspex scan take an additional 75%, but the mark's duration is reduced by 4%. So here it is, guys. You're getting an additional 75% on top of this 75%. Okay, guys. However, it's 4 seconds less. Okay, but you already got the additional 8 seconds here. So in reality, don't worry about it. You very rarely notice the difference. Do your damage. That extra 4 seconds is not worth the the 75% less damage, at least in my opinion, guys. Again, you see my theme here. I love increased damage. If there's any perk that's going to take it, I'm going to choose that perk. Now, please know that it is really a toss-up between battle focus and precise calibration. But at the end of the day, I had to choose the precise calibration only because that 75% paired with this 75%, guys, it just shreds enemies. So again, this is also a very, very good close second, in my opinion. Some people use this as their first, but for me, this is a close second. A perfectly timed parry or block gives the parried enemy a marked aspect scan. So also very, very good. But for me, I chose this one right here, guys. Okay, and then right here, third gear is expert timing, like I said. Now this is where it gets controversial, and again, I'm between the two here too. For me, in my opinion, they're both S tier. This one can go straight to hell, but radiating impact or marked for death are both good. I approve both of them, and if you've kept everything the same throughout all of here, and you switch these two up, they're still S class in my opinion. Okay, so first one, guys, the one that I have right now is marked for death. A headshot will instantly kill a Majoris or Extremis level enemy marked by Auspex scan. Of course, the cooldown is 120 because then it would be crazy unlimited. But this is so key to have, guys. You got a Lictor popping up. You mark it with the Auspex. Headshot, done. Now, the only downside with this and the way I play, and the reason I'm going to switch it to this right now, and I wanted to leave it at this because I wanted to explain this one thing. You go back, I play with a melter rifle. Now, I do have the plasma pistol, so I could switch and pop the headshot off. However, it's going to be hard for me unless I have a teammate that knows I have this on or is just a headhunter. It might be hard for me to hit those headshots always with the melter rifle. As you know, the spread's very wide. So again, I switch between back and forth, but for me personally, I like radiating impact. And if you don't know what radiating impact is, when you go for that finisher, okay, when you go for that kill and the animation takes place, there's a big kind of fire ring around you in a 10-meter radius that does a bunch of damage. And I'm telling you guys, there's been instances where I had only one Majoris Tyranid that I had to take down, finisher move, and then that radiating impact initiates. And guys, I'm telling you, all the Majoris around me go into the finisher animation that you can go finish. You can finish them, and then all my teammates we just finish one after the other. So it's kind of hard to explain. Maybe I'll pop a video up in another video, but it's a really good perk to have, and I think it's underestimated. But again, there is a cooldown, 90 seconds, not that long, but 90 seconds cooldown. But it's really advantageous in my opinion. But if you are a headhunter, if you're using a bolt, using a sniper or whatever, or I guess not a sniper, but if you're using a bolt, or if you want to switch to your pistol, or you got more precise weapons, this one's also very good, marked for death. But again, I chose this one. Again, go into this knowing that I do use a Melta and the way I play. So, and again, I like to be gritty. I like to be in the battle with all these enemies around me. So this one right here, when I got a bunch of Minoris, a bunch of Majoris around me, even the higher level enemies, this one really hits hard, and it takes everyone out. It's a really good one to have.
All right, guys. So let's get into the prestige perks now. Now, as I said before, tactical doesn't have the best, at least in my opinion, the best prestige perks to choose from. That's unfortunate. It is what it is, but so you got to make the best of what you have. So the 4 that I chose are as followed. All right. So the first one for prestige, prestige slot 1 is skilled supplier. So ammo reserve increases by 15%. So especially if you're playing on absolute or even lethal, it's always good to get a little bit more ammo. I find that, at least myself, I I'm always using my ranged weapon. I use my ranged weapon more so than I use my melee weapon, the chainsword. So I find that I'm draining ammo quite frequently. So for me, this has been and will be very advantageous. Okay, so skilled supplier. So if your primary playstyle is more of a ranged weapon style, you're using your primary ranged weapon, or even your secondary ranged weapon, I would say this is a good prestige perk to put as your first, or in any slot, but this is a good skilled supplier, is a good perk to have. Again, you're not choosing from the best of the best here, so go at it with what you will. So skilled supplier, first prestige perk slot. Second one, guys, I got fortitude. I do like this one. Look, it's a blanket overall health increase by 15%. I'll take that any day. Always good to have increased health. There's not much more to say about that. Yeah. Third one, guys, I got Medicare, Medicaid stims, restore 40% more health. This one's a really good one to have, guys, because the base restoration is not very high, so it's always good to add a little more restoration. And as you know, with tactical, unlike Vanguard and some other classes, Bulwark, I believe Sniper has a certain perk. I don't use Sniper very often, but there isn't really any health regen capabilities built into the tactical build. So whenever you can take a perk that will increase health or increase stim regeneration, you're going to take it. At least in my opinion, you got to take that. All right. And then my last one, guys, I have exigency. I don't even know how to say that. Charge. So when your health is less than 25%, the ability charge regenerates 15% faster. Okay, guys. So your Auspex scan will recharge 15% faster. All right, guys. So those are my 4 perks. Now, if you go into the perks, let's click that here. You really don't have much to choose from here, guys, at least in my opinion. Second look, in my opinion, guys, I mean, is a complete waste. Very rarely do you miss a scan. And if you do, look, it is what it is. But usually, if you're watching this, you're a veteran player, and even if you're just starting out, very rarely do you miss a scan. I mean, you can use this if you want, but I don't really think it's very advantageous compared to other perks here. And then we have acuity here. So each consecutive headshot. Now this is a good one too. So I'm going to read this quickly for you guys. Each consecutive headshot increases headshot damage by 3% up to 15%. The bonus lasts 5 seconds without a headshot. Now the only reason I didn't choose this one, it's not the greatest perk, but the only reason I didn't choose this one was because, again, I use the melter rifle. So my spread is very large. So I don't always hit headshots. So that's why I didn't choose this one, guys. And then we have, we chose that one. And then, so again, spare power, collecting an ammo box restores ability charge by 25%. This is also a very good one as well. But I just find myself, so I chose this one instead of this one, very, very close second, only because I play mostly absolute and lethal, so I find my health low very often, so I want to take advantage of this over finding ammo boxes. I find that my teammates always snag the ammo boxes before me, so I find that this worked to my advantage more than this, but honestly, either or works. Okay, guys, so that's it for my perks. Again, if you have any questions, let me know in the comments below, guys, or if you have any suggestions too. I'm always ears, guys. Look, I love this build, and again, there are some perks that may be switched in the future or could be interchanged. Again, this, if you're hitting a mark for death, if you're using a bolt weapon or your aim is really good, this is a great one to have. Pair that with battle focus, another great perk. So again, there are a few changes here, but other than that, guys, in my opinion, perk wise, especially with the prestige perks, guys, not being great for tactical. This is probably the closest you're going to get to an S tier load build for tactical. Again, at least in my opinion, guys. All right, everyone has different opinions, and I appreciate that. And let me know in the comments below if you agree with me or not. But let's get to my weapons again. I've spoken a little bit about my primary weapon, my primary ranged weapon. It's the Melter Rifle, and it's this one right here. A lot of these names are tough to pronounce, guys, but the Ophelian Liberation, and it's the Alpha, okay? So, yeah, not the Beta, the Alpha, all right? So, and then in terms of the perk tree, guys, with this one, I have extended magazine, so magazine side increases by 15% of the maximum. This is a good one to have for Melter Rifle, guys, because you don't have a lot of ammo as your base, so it's always good to add an extra 15% to that. And then your second one for the Mastercrafted, I have a magazine restoration. So when your health drops below 30%, your ammo reserve is restored by a full magazine. Cannot exceed maximum ammo capacity. Cooldown's 30 seconds, all right? After that, guys, I got damage increase against Terminus, so 10% against Terminus. Again, like I said, guys, whenever you can get a health boost or extra damage, I'm taking that. I'm taking that over, over something else, right? So, Divine Might, damage increase, like I said, blanket damage increase for all enemies. Extended magazine, the weapon reloads 10% faster. Now, this one, guys, fast reload is really good to have, because the Melter Rifle takes half a century to reload. So if you can add a 10% speed boost to reloads, I definitely add that in, okay, guys? Then I got First Shot. The first shot after a reload deals 10% more damage, okay? And then I have Retaliation. After a perfectly timed dodge, you deal 25% more damage for 10 seconds. So that's always good to have. Extra damage, I'll take that any day. And then the fire rate increases. Now, this is another good one to have. So just like the reload, the fire rate is very, very slow on the Melter Rifle. So this is a good one to have, guys. So fire rate increases by 10%. You will notice it. As for my secondary long-range weapon or ranged weapon, I have the plasma pistol right here, guys. I have the the top right, so the Ophelian Liberation Alpha again. And then in terms of the perk tree, I'm just going to go over it quick, guys. I got fast venting, so weapon cools 50% faster. I got Rampage. After killing 7 enemies in rapid succession, you deal 25% more damage for 10 seconds. I have a damage increase by 10%, Divine Might. Damage increase against Terminus, 10%. I got Plasma Collection, energy reserve of plasma weapons increased by 20%. And then I also have Blast Radius. The damage radius of a charge shot increased by 10%. That's a good one to have, at least, especially against my Norris level. You can charge that shot, pop it off, the spread will be a little bit bigger. Retaliation, after a perfectly timed dodge, you deal 25% more damage for 10 seconds. And then the last one, guys, I got Divine Might, damage increased by 10%. So always going to take that increased damage any day, all day. All right, and that's basically it, guys. And then in terms of my melee weapons, I got the chainsword. I'm old school, guys. I love the chainsword. I'm not really a big fan of the combat knife. Again, just my opinion, guys. But again, I got this one here. I have the fencing, Aquilin dedication, top right. And then in terms of my perk tree, guys, this one's a little more, I'm gonna go a little more in detail here. I got melee damage increase. 5%, I'm gonna take that. This is also another good one. All these are really good, but this is what I chose. Perpetual Strength. I chose Swift Recovery, so heavy attacks restore 100% contested health. Applies to the following attacks: Quick Punch, Front Kick, Shoulder Bash, Stomp. All right? That's a really good one to have. Perpetual Strength, so melee damage increased by 5%. And then we got Reverberating Impact, so Stomp area effect radius increases by 50%. So, so the radius of your stomp increased by 50%. Sorry. So if you're hitting a bunch of Minoris enemies, you got a bunch of Minoris around you, it's going to do a lot of damage. The spread's going to be nice. It's going to hit a lot more people, or a lot more enemies. Sorry. And then we got combined onslaught. Light combo attacks with this weapon deal 10% more melee damage. We have heavy onslaught. Heavy attacks with this weapon deal 15% more melee damage. We also have trampling stride. After performing a stomp, hold the attack button to perform an additional stomp. So you're doing essentially 2 stomps, all right? And this second stomp, has this reverberating impact effect as well. So you have 2 stomps, okay? And it does a lot of damage. Then we have Majora's Slayer, so melee damage against Majora's level enemies increased by 10%. So you can see here, guys, I'm really damage focused here. I want to increase my damage as much as I can here. And then we have momentum gain. Each consecutive light attack increases light attack melee damage by 3%. Up to 30%. So you can't go to infinity. There is a cap on this for 3 seconds. Okay, guys? And that's basically it. If you want to copy it, guys, I'm going to just leave this here for, let's say, 5-10 seconds. Just pause the screen and go from there, guys. Again, in terms of switching a few out for different play styles, if you're a little more precise with your shots, maybe you're using a bolt weapon, you can definitely switch it out. You can definitely switch, radiating impact out for marked for death. Okay. Another one that you can switch out would be precise calibration for battle focus. Okay. Other than those 2, guys, I'm honestly really liking this perk tree. Also, I should also say, again, because I got to be as transparent as possible, if you're using a plasma weapon or you're using a bolt weapon, you can also look at these 2 as well. So if you're using a plasma weapon, this might be better to have than this one, unless you want... I would say, actually, no, sorry, I wouldn't even say... If you have a plasma weapon, I feel like this is what you need to choose. Again, I don't have a plasma weapon. I'm heavy. I'm a Melta. So again, this is what I chose. Other than that, guys, in terms of the prestige, guys, we're not really given a lot for tactical. So take it what you will. These are what I chose. And anyways, guys, I really appreciate you guys watching. I'm going to be making, the same videos for Assault, Bulwark, Sniper, and Heavy. Once I finish those, I have not finished the Prestige for those just yet. But if you haven't checked out my Vanguard build, guys, this is my main class. I love this class. In my opinion, guys, it's one of the best classes in the game, and people don't even really play it that often, but it's a fantastic class, especially this perk right here, Emperor's Blessing, guys. It's basically a cheat death, a cheat code for death. So really good class right here. But anyways, guys, this is tactical. All right, so also a very good class as well. But anyways, guys, thank you so much for watching. Let me know what you think of this video. Let me know what you think of this perk tree, my weapon loadout, even my armor. Appreciate both positive and negative feedback, and really appreciate you guys watching. Please leave a like, please subscribe, please share, and it helps a ton, guys. Really trying to grow this channel. Anyways, guys, take care and have a great day today.